I'm actually nervous.
You can do it.
You think? Yeah, so this is it. I'm actually going to ride the bike. First time in 5 months. I can't get on that side. I'll use my good leg. Oh. It's the ritual that I haven't done for nearly half a year. Starts. I'm actually shaking a little bit. Well, the handlebars are still crooked. Oh, no real surprise. This is literally the first time sat on this bike with it moving since the day I crashed, which obviously also means there's no petrol in the tank. Oh, yeah, getting onto that one leg is, that's not a pleasure. I'm sure I will get used to it. So here we go. Oh my god. Oh, this feels actually a lot better than I was expecting it to. I've been imagining this day every moment of pretty much every day since I had the accident. How it was going to be to get on the bike. How it was going to be hurtling along again on the machine that tried to snap my leg in two. And to be honest, so far, it feels pretty good. It feels great to hear the bike running again. You know, I've added an extra layer of nervousness because the bike has brand spanking new tyres on it, set of Dunlop Meridians. But nowadays, sure, this whole scrubbing in thing is taken care of in a few minutes. But yeah, the days leading up to actually getting back on the bike have been filled with anticipation, worry, excitement, joy. Had a bit of a shaky night's sleep last night, but here we are, and it's so far better than I expected. I mean, the getting on and off the bike, it's not pretty, completely honest. I mean, having the centre stand, which I fitted last week, really helps. And walking in the boots, I've actually still got the City Adventure 2s in which I crashed on, even though the ambulance people cut them open to get my foot out. All they did was cut the soft bit of the tongue, so I've just trimmed away the flappy bits, and the boots can still be boots. So that's proper bend, and there's no PTSD rearing its ugly head. Kind of wouldn't be overly surprised if there were a few moments of abject panic, as for the full week after the accident, I actually dreamed the accident happening again in glorious brain technicolor. Woke me up with a start every single time, made me jerk my freshly broken leg. That was not a pleasure, I can tell you. In case you haven't fully grasped it, the chap in front on the GS there is Abel. He's a friend from here on Mallorca. He's the absolute legend that actually rode the bike to its ITV, to its MOT test. And one of the conditions stipulated both by my wife and by him himself was that he would come along on my first ride in case I need any help, in case anything doesn't feel right, in case I get into any kind of trouble. So, in case I haven't said it enough in real life, Abel, thank you so very much for coming along, mate. It's so good to be supported. My biggest technical concern, to be honest, was actually changing gear, because the mobility in my left ankle has been hugely reduced since the accident. But thankfully it's getting better and better every day. Lots of silly little exercises with rubber bands, the physiotherapist. And everything seems to be getting almost back to normal. Still not quite. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it never gets back to normal. I've already realised that my lower leg is a couple of degrees outwards, twisted. So it looks like the bone has healed slightly off axis. So I've got a little bit of a Charlie Chaplin walk now. Not so much that you'd notice if you didn't know, but obviously it's my leg, so I do notice. Been walking with my foot in a certain position for 46 years, and now it's in a different one. So with that in mind, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some mobility limitation. I think I do need to adjust the gear lever down a little bit, because the problem is lifting my toe up. It's not as easy as it once was. I have missed the bark of this machine. A little bit of nervousness around those loose corners. Bits of gravel around the edge. Though the time on the mountain bike has certainly helped with that feeling of squirrely tyres underfoot. Our practice.
Hi.
Good, all good.
Okay.
What a gent. Cursory check that everybody's alright. So different to riding around in the car. I've been bombing around on the island on four wheels, going to appointments and things, but this freedom of being on the bike, up above it, hearing it, the roar of the engine, I can feel the wind all around me. My view of everything is so much clearer. I take up less room on the road, so I can get around much quicker, around past the obstacles, past the cyclists, of which there are plentiful on this island. I'm now one of them myself, but this freedom, I've missed it. And ironically, it's now the 2nd of May, which I think is pretty much around about the exact same time that I got on the bike again last year after breaking my finger. If you remember, I didn't just break my finger, I managed to break it in 2 places and double dislocate it. Though half measures here. So last year I managed to bugger up riding through the winter. I moved to this Mediterranean island so that I could ride year round, and then on the journey here stuffed a big hole in that boat and couldn't ride for all of the winter until May. And then this year, once again, it's warming up for a nice, enjoyable, glorious ride through the winter, up into the mountains on empty winter days. And didn't just stuff a hole in the boat, I sank the whole thing. Triple leg break, resulting in over 5 months off the bike. 5 months. But those 5 months are now over. I feel really, really good about this. So far, other than the slightly stiff left leg, the discomfort getting on and off, and walking like Charlie Chaplin with a lead boot, it feels like I never stopped. This is a good thing. My first wave of the season, my first wave, I joined back into the community. This is a refreshing change. Normally it's me that has to stop for batteries. There's my first hairpin. Uneventful, but that's a good thing. So, my road's taken me on the lesser-known secret cut-throughs. Honestly, wouldn't have thought you could drive through there. I thought those pillars made it look like it was a private road or someone's driveway. There you go. There is literally no substitute for local knowledge. Which is why, in fact, me and Abel have been talking about maybe working together to do some kind of tour action, to offer some kind of service whereby you can come over and ride with us around the roads of Spain, Mallorca, Menorca, Ibiza, whatever. How does that sound to you? Is that something you'd be interested in? It's a very enjoyable stretch of road, even if the tarmac has seen better days. The chameleon of a biker, he can integrate perfectly into any group. Well, those boxer cylinders do help. But that stretch of road is always a bit of a highlight whenever I've come this way to see Dave, who you met in a video last year, shortly after I got to the island and started riding again. And the reason we're going to see Dave is because a little while ago, he, due to an administrative mix-up, a bureaucratical balls-up, actually lost the motorbike part of his driving license. So while I was lying in the hospital, in order to try and cheer me up, I think, we made a bit of a bet that the first person to get back on the motorbike would be bought lunch by the other. So we're heading over there to let him know that he has unfortunately lost the bet. That is, unless of course we're going to get there and he's miraculously taken and passed his test. Quite possible, because literally 2 days ago he passed his mod 1. So for all I know, this could be a double cross. So we could be getting there, Dave will be sitting there, the Cheshire grin on top of a rental motorbike with his brand new Spanish motorbike license. We'll wait and see. There he is. Yeah, sorry buddy, you lose.
Son of a bitch. What the f? I said to him, hey, now I think I'm gonna win the bet. Motherfucker.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
I had a big smile on my face when you texted that. Adios, cabron. Well, there we go. That was a delicious lunch with Dave. Not the lunch that he's going to be paying for. That comes later. Actually, we've decided Dave is leaving the island, moving to the mainland, and yeah, the two of us are going to ride over there, have lunch at his gaff on the hacienda, and also maybe, who knows, do a bit of research, check out a few routes, maybe gather some knowledge for our potential touring business. Watch this space. So now we've just got the leisurely ride home, but Abel has brought me achingly close to the mountains once again. Next time. That was a very enjoyable little cut through, although it was full of cyclists. Lots of really cool little natchetty switchbacky, narrow roads like that here on the island. You might not be able to go super fast, but they're good fun, nice and technical. And I'm very happy to see that they don't frighten the shit out of me. Leaning the bike over doesn't seem to be a problem. Did have a bit of worry that as soon as I get any kind of lean on, any kind of cornering action, that I was going to freak out a little bit. Sensors might go a bit crazy, but the wiring still seems to be good. Like I've been given my freedom back for sure. That's what this is. Been a prisoner for months and now got my mojo back. I'm so happy. And there we go. Let's be back home. First ride back on the bike done. I'm just so filled with joy that this was a success. The worry, the apprehension, the stress was all for nothing. This feels like I never stopped. Like the last time I rode was literally last week. That is just fantastic. So thank you so much for coming along, and thank you for all your support up to this point. Bearing with me as I go through all of the 5 long months of not being able to ride, but those 5 long months are now over. And there will be lots more riding. That's for damn sure. The seal is broken, the cherry is popped. There will be a lot more miles covered on this island in the next few months, across the summer, and barring any other incidents, which hopefully there won't be, long into the winter. Done and done. Thank you so much for coming along with me today. It's been amazing.
It's been nice.
It was really nice.
You felt well?
Yeah, felt good. Felt
At
very
the
good.
beginning, a little bit.
Yeah, a bit apprehensive, a bit scared, but at the end, there we are. There we go. So that's the end of that. See you back out on the roads.